If you are over 60 and you take any vitamin or supplement at night, I need you to stop for the next few minutes and listen carefully, because what I am about to share could be the difference between waking up, feeling rested, and waking up feeling worse than when you went to bed. I am not here to scare you. I am here to tell you the truth, based on real research, real clinical experience, and real patterns I have seen over and over again in people exactly your age. Everything I tell you today, you can verify with your own doctor or pharmacist. In fact, I want you to. Write these down and bring them to your next appointment. Here is the problem nobody talks about. When we are younger, our bodies process vitamins and minerals quickly and efficiently. The liver clears them, the kidneys filter them, and timing barely matters. But after 60, everything changes. Kidney filtration slows down, liver enzyme activity drops, hormone rhythms shift, especially the ones that control sleep, and many of you are also taking 1, 2, sometimes 5 or 6 prescription medications every single day. When you stack a vitamin or mineral on top of that, especially at night, timing stops being a small detail. It can become the reason your blood pressure spikes, your heart races, your legs cramp, or you lie awake at 3 in the morning wondering what's wrong. So let's go through this one at a time, starting with the one that surprises almost everyone. Vitamin D. Most people take this whenever they remember, and for a lot of people that ends up being right before bed. Here's why that can backfire. Vitamin D has a relationship with your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. Taking it close to bedtime may interfere with melatonin release in some people, making it harder to fall or stay asleep. It also absorbs best with a meal containing some fat, which for most people means breakfast or lunch, not a glass of water before bed. If your sleep has quietly gotten worse over the last few months, this might be your answer. The fix is simple. Move it to the morning, with food. Calcium is next, and this is where I see more confusion than almost anywhere else. A lot of people take calcium at night simply because that's when they remember their pills. But at night, in larger doses, it can cause mild constipation or stomach discomfort, not exactly ideal before sleep. More importantly, calcium competes for absorption with iron and with thyroid medications. If you take levothyroxine, you already know to separate it from calcium by at least 4 hours. If your routine has drifted over the years, that overlap could be quietly making your thyroid medication less effective, even if you've taken it faithfully every day. Iron is another one to watch. It's notorious for stomach upset, heartburn, and nausea, especially on an empty stomach, which is exactly what happens right before bed. For some people over 60, this triggers nighttime acid reflux that disrupts sleep for hours. If you need iron, ask your doctor about taking it with a small snack earlier in the day. Let me tell you about something I've seen so many times in people right around your age, because I think you'll recognize it. Someone comes in for a routine visit, feeling generally fine, maybe a little tired, maybe sleeping worse than they used to, nothing they'd call an emergency. We go through their prescription list and everything looks reasonable. Then I ask the question that almost always changes the conversation. What else do you take? Not prescribed, just what's sitting on the kitchen counter or the nightstand. Almost every time there's a small lineup of bottles nobody thought to mention, because in their mind, vitamins aren't medicine. They're just vitamins. But once we go through the list together, dose by dose, time by time, we almost always find something worth adjusting. I'm telling you this not to embarrass anyone, but because the odds are good you'll see yourself in this story. By the way, if this is the kind of detail your 15-minute doctor's visit never has time to cover, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, back to the list, because the next few matter even more. Vitamin K is one to be especially careful with if you're on warfarin, also known as Coumadin. This isn't something to take lightly, and timing isn't even the main issue, consistency is. Vitamin K helps your blood clot, and warfarin works by blocking that process. If your intake swings up and down, whether from a supplement or even from suddenly eating more leafy greens, your INR can swing dangerously too. Too much vitamin K, and the warfarin stops working. Too little combined with the medication, and you risk bleeding complications. Please don't start, stop, or change vitamin K intake without your doctor and your INR being closely monitored. This is one of the most well-documented drug-nutrient interactions in all of medicine. Vitamin E, particularly in higher doses, has a mild blood-thinning effect of its own. Usually not a major concern on its own, but if you're already on a blood thinner or even daily low-dose aspirin, which many of you take for heart health, stacking vitamin E on top can increase your risk of bruising and bleeding. This matters even more if you're prone to falls, because a minor bump that once caused a small bruise could become something more serious. If this applies to you, this is worth a specific conversation with your doctor. Zinc gets recommended constantly for immune support, and in reasonable doses, it's genuinely helpful. But, taken at night, on an empty stomach, it's one of the more common causes of nighttime nausea that people never quite trace back to its source. It can also interfere with certain antibiotics if the timing overlaps, and long-term high-dose use can deplete your copper levels, leading to fatigue and a weaker immune response, the exact opposite of what people are usually trying to achieve. Magnesium is a little different, and I want to be fair to it, because it actually has decent evidence supporting nighttime use for some people, helping with muscle relaxation and sleep quality. But here's the catch if you're on blood pressure medication. Magnesium has its own mild blood pressure lowering effect. Stack it on top of your medication, particularly at a higher dose, and you may feel dizzy or lightheaded, especially if you stand up quickly at night to use the bathroom. This is a real and common cause of falls in older adults, and falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury after 60. If you take magnesium at night, start with a lower dose, and if you feel dizzy when you stand up, mention it to your doctor. B vitamins, particularly B12 and the B-complex multivitamins so many people take, are often described as energizing, and there's a reason for that. They play a direct role in how your body produces energy at the cellular level. For some people, taking a B-complex vitamin at night can be like drinking a small cup of coffee right before bed. If you've noticed that you feel wired, restless, or unable to wind down on nights when you take your B vitamins, this is very likely the reason. Moving them to the morning is an easy fix, and most people notice a difference within just a few nights. And then there's niacin, also known as vitamin B3, which, especially in higher doses, can cause something called niacin flush. This is a sensation of warmth, redness, and sometimes itching in the skin, often on the face, neck, and chest. If this happens at night, it can absolutely disrupt your sleep, even if you don't immediately connect the dots. If you've ever woken up feeling flushed and hot for no clear reason, and you take niacin, this is worth bringing up with your doctor. Now, I've saved this last one for a reason. Out of everything in this video, this is the one that concerns me the most, and I need you to listen closely if you take blood pressure medication. If you're taking an ACE inhibitor like lisinopril, an ARB like losartan, or a potassium-sparing diuretic like spironolactone, please pay close attention here. After 60, kidney function naturally declines, even in people who feel perfectly healthy. Your kidneys are responsible for clearing excess potassium from your blood. When that function slows down, and you add a potassium supplement on top of a medication that already raises potassium levels, you can develop a condition called hyperkalemia. This is not a minor inconvenience. Hyperkalemia can cause muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, and in serious cases, it can be life-threatening. This is exactly why your doctor checks your potassium levels with routine blood work. Please do not start a potassium supplement on your own, especially not because you read somewhere that it helps with leg cramps or blood pressure. Talk to your doctor first and get your levels checked. Of everything in this video, This is the one rule I'd ask you to remember above all the others. Now I want to step back for a moment because I know that was a lot, and I don't want you walking away afraid of your supplement cabinet. That is not the goal here. Most of what I described is not dangerous for most people, most of the time. But after 60, your body has less room for error, and small things that didn't matter at 40 can absolutely matter now. The good news is that almost every issue I just walked you through has a simple solution, and that solution is timing and communication. Moving certain vitamins to the morning, separating others from your prescription medications by a few hours, and, most importantly, having an honest, complete conversation with your doctor or pharmacist about every single supplement you take, not just your prescriptions. Here's something I tell every patient, and I want you to take this seriously. Your doctor cannot protect you from an interaction they don't know about. So many people over 60 think of vitamins as harmless extras that don't need to be mentioned at appointments. But a supplement is not separate from your medication regimen. It is part of it. The next time you see your doctor, I want you to bring a full list, every vitamin, every mineral, every herbal supplement, with the exact dose and the time of day you take it. This single habit, more than almost anything else I could tell you today, is what protects people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s from preventable complications. If anything in this video applied to you, and I suspect quite a bit of it did, do not panic, and do not stop anything abruptly without talking to your doctor first. Some of these adjustments are as simple as moving a pill from your nightstand to your kitchen counter. Others may require an actual conversation about whether you need a supplement at all, or whether your levels are even low to begin with, because not everyone needs every vitamin, regardless of what the bottle promises. Getting older does not mean your body is working against you. It means your body needs a little more precision, a little more attention to detail, and a little more partnership with the people taking care of you. The fact that you watched this entire video tells me you care about getting this right, and that already puts you ahead of most people. If this helped you, do me a favor and subscribe, because every single week I break down exactly this kind of information, the things your 15-minute doctor's visit often does not have time to fully explain. And if you found out today that you have been taking something the wrong way, leave a comment and let me know which one surprised you the most. I read every single one, and honestly, that is how I decide what to cover next. Take care of yourself, talk to your doctor, and I will see you in the next video. This video is for general educational purposes only and is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Always consult your physician or pharmacist before starting, stopping, or changing the timing of any medication or supplement.